Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Echo Aftab. In my today's class, we will continue with the production concept and we will take up the first theory that comes in production is with regard to short run production function, and that is law of variable proportions. Myself Aftab Bhai. So before directly understanding what is law of variable proportions, let us start with a simple example. Let us see an illustration where this Mr. X is one labor who is working on a machine, and let us say this machine is with regard to paper printing. So what he does is he just scrolls the paper so that the blank paper will turn into ruled line paper. You can see here what is happening. The paper is moving through the machine and we are getting a ruled paper. Blank paper is getting converted into ruled paper. So this is what Mr. X is doing from on the one end of the machine. So once the process finishes, what he has to do is he has to come on the other side of the machine, collect the papers, and then again in between he has to fill the ink. You can see here there is an ink pad over here which he has to fill. So all these three things, one is scrolling the paper from the left side, after it getting printed, coming on the right side, collecting it and filling the ink. So all these three things this one particular labor is doing. So with this, what is the outcome? So this one labor is able to print, let us assume 10 sheets of paper. So this is the first case. If we are having two laborers, let us say there is Mr. X as well as Mr. Y, and the machine is the same. Now what will happen? Mr. X will be on the other one end, will be just passing on the papers through the machine, and these papers they move in and move out, and the work that has to be done by Mr. X will be taken up by Mr. Y, and so the things become very easy. So with this, what happens? The intensity of the work increases and the productivity of both the laborers, Mr. X and Mr. Y, increases. In such a case, what will happen is, you can see here, now the situation is there are two laborers who are printing the papers, and two of them together are able to print 24 sheets of paper. Earlier it was only 10. Now two of them together are able to produce 24 sheets of paper. So this is second situation. If I bring one more labor into the picture, what may happen? Now you can see here, if there is Mr. Z also into the picture, now you can see there will be optimum utilization of the printing machine. So what is happening? Mr. X, as usual, he is doing his job of passing on the papers to the machine for printing it. Mr. Z is filling the ink, and Mr. Y will be taking the papers from the other end. So all three will be efficiently using the energy. And what happens to the productivity of this labor? Because of the third labor, now you can see three labors together are able to print 45 sheets of paper. So what does this say? Now is there any space for fourth labor to be accommodated on this machine? Let us see what will happen. If fourth labor is also employed, let us say Mr. A is brought into the picture and the capacity of the machine is the same. Now what is going to happen? X is doing his job, Z is doing his job, and Y is doing his job. So there is no contribution of Mr. A on this machine. So the productivity of Mr. A will be negligible. So now what is the situation? Now there are four laborers, and four laborers are also able to produce only 45 sheets of paper, that is print only 45 sheets of paper. If this is the situation, there is no need of the fourth labor, that is A labor is non-productive. Why? Because this printing machine requires maximum amount of 3 laborers and they are doing the work, or you can say they are optimizing the machine. So in this situation, laborer A is having no marginal productivity, his marginal productivity is negative. So it's the same thing, friends. Now we'll just see here what is happening over here. There is one machine and there are 4 laborers, and fourth labor will not include it because his productivity is 0. So first labor is able to produce 10. Two laborers together are able to produce 24 sheets of produce in the sense print 24 sheets of paper, and three laborers together are able to print 45 sheets of paper. So this is the first case. So this 10, 24, 45 becomes our total printed papers. So when the labor was 1, it is 10 sheets that is produced. With 24 with 2 laborers 24 sheets were printed, and with 3 laborers 45 sheets were printed. Let us take one step ahead. Now you can see, if this one labor is producing 10, then in the second situation what is happening? In the second situation, here you can see, in the second situation there are two laborers, 1 and 2, and both of them together are producing 24 sheets of paper. So on an average, what is the productivity of one labor with regard to printing the paper? So it will be 24 divided by 2, and that is going to be equal. So on an average, these laborers are producing printing 12 sheets of paper each. Similarly, when there are 3 laborers, 3 of them together are able to print 45 sheets of paper. So on an average, what is the productivity of every labor? So when you speak about on an average, it is 45 divided by 3, and that is equal to 15. So on an average, every labor is able to produce or print 15 sheets. So this is, we call it our total productivity, and this 10 is our average productivity. This 15 is our average productivity. So what you can see, as and how the units of labor we are increasing from 1 to 2, the total product has increased as well as the average product has increased. Similarly, further increase in the units of labor from 2 to 3, the total product has increased and even the average productivity has increased. So we will see this same thing in other way. The first labor, how much he is able to produce? Now I am not telling one laborer, I am telling the first laborer. So the first labor is able to produce 10. Now what will be the contribution of this particular second labor? If first labor is producing 10, what is the contribution of this laborer? So the contribution of this labor, you can see, the second labor, when he is joining the first labor, he is able to contribute 14 units. What is this 14? This 14 is nothing but the difference, 24 minus 10. So first unit of labor was printing 10 sheets, second unit came, the total output became 24. इसका मतलब क्या है? 24 minus 10 is 14. So the contribution of second laborer, Mr. Y, is 14. Similarly, what is the contribution of the third laborer? The contribution of this third laborer, you can see here, is 21. How did we get 21? Again the same thing, the addition made to the total product by the third laborer, that is 45 minus 24 is equal to 21. So this thing we call it as I said, this is our total product, this is our average product, and lastly this is our marginal product. So the three important concepts that we need to know in production is total productivity of the laborer, average productivity, and marginal productivity. Hope the concepts are clear. Let us move ahead and see this thing. I will just make an arrangement of these numbers and will convert it into a form of the table. So here you can see we are having units of labor in the first column, total productivity TP, second column, third column is telling us about average productivity, and fourth column is telling us about marginal productivity. Units of labor TP, AP, and MP. So total product, if you divide it by units of labor, we get average productivity, and the change in total product because of change in units of output will get marginal, change in units of labor we get marginal productivity. So this is the average productivity is equal to total productivity divided by units of labor, and marginal productivity is change in total productivity, TPN minus TPN minus 1, which can also be written as change in total productivity divided by change in units of labor, which is nothing but it is the slope of total product. That is what is the table. So, just expanding this thing as per our textbook, we can see here what is happening. So, if the units are, if we are having a bigger machinery, a bigger plant, and here you can see when we are employing units 1 to 9, what is happening to the total productivity? The total productivity is increasing, and a particular point comes where the total productivity becomes constant. That is at 7 units of labor, you can see here at 7 units of labor, the total productivity is maximum, and 8th unit of labor is not contributing anything to the output, whereas 9th unit of labor, you can see the total productivity has become less. So, this is what is happening over here. Why it is happening? You already understood it. As and how more and more laborers are employed on a given fixed capital asset, initially the productivity of the laborers increases, the marginal labor increases. After a particular point, the machine becomes fully equipped, fully utilized, and the marginal productivity goes on diminishing. So, this thing you can see here, the green shaded area, what is happening? Labor 1, 2 and 3, you can see the average productivity has increased from 10, 12 and 15, and the marginal productivity has also increased, and it has increased more faster than average productivity, and that is 10, 14 and 21. So, this is the first phase, and then you can see after this particular point, if you employ further laborers, still our total product is increasing. But what is happening to the average product? The average product is decreasing, and what is happening to the marginal product? The marginal product is decreasing more rapidly than average product. So, the blue shaded area you can see, this is what is phase 2. And lastly, after employing 8th unit, if you further employ 9th unit of labor, his contribution will be absolutely nothing. Instead, he will be making negative contribution to the output, and that is what is the third phase, and this third phase you can see his contribution is negative. So, these are the 3 phases which we can see in the production in short run. So, short run production function, the output will increase, but it will increase in 3 phases, in 3 stages, and these 3 stages we call it as increasing returns, diminishing returns and negative returns. The same thing, friends, we can understand it in the form of a graph. So, what is law of variable proportions? The thing that I explained in the previous slides is what is law of variable proportions. The law says if increasing quantities of one factor of production in conjunction with fixed quantity of other factors of production. So, here one factor of production that we saw was labor, and fixed quantity of other factors. For simplicity, I said the fixed quantity is the printing machine, which we call it as capital. So, what will happen? After a certain point, each successive units of variable factor. So, which is this variable factor? This is the labor. The variable factor labor will make smaller and smaller addition to the total output. So, friends, this definition is given by Tirkettle in Basic Economics, page number 23. So, this is about the definition of law of variable proportions. Now, let us say how can we see the same law in terms of a graph. So, here we will be having graphical representation of law of variable proportions. So, you can see I have 2 panels here, there is panel 1 and panel 2. So, in panel 1 we are considering total product, and in panel 2 we are seeing average product and marginal product. On x axis we are measuring labor. So, this is our total product curve, and this is our average product and marginal product curve. So, if you see the graph, the previous table, the green shade was telling us about the average productivity is also increasing and the marginal productivity is also increasing. So, this is happening up to a particular point, and which is that point? it is happening till you can see where the average productivity and marginal productivity are equal to each other. So, this is the point where the average productivity and the marginal productivity are equal to each other. So, this particular point is showing us about increasing marginal productivity, increasing average productivity, and at this particular point we come across phase 1. So, this is our phase 1 of production. What it is telling? It is showing us about the increasing returns to scale. Beyond this particular point, if we go on employing more and more laborers, what is happening? The output will increase, but the intensity or the speed of increase in the output will be less, and that is shown by the falling part of AP and MP curve. So, here you can see one more interesting thing, that when our marginal productivity becomes negative, at this particular point our total productivity is maximum. So, this thing is what is our second stage. So, second stage is, or phase 2 is where we are getting diminishing returns to scale. The output is increasing, but it is increasing at a slower speed. That is what is diminishing. And beyond this particular output, if you employ one more unit of labor, you can see our total product is decreasing and our marginal product is becoming negative, and this stage is called as phase 3, where we are getting negative returns to scale. So, this is all about law of variable proportions. Now, you may ask me, sir, why it is that this particular thing is happening? The simple reason is the law of variable proportions, it operates in the short run, and in the short run the fixed factor is less in quantity and the variable factor, you can say the fixed factor is there in a particular capacity, and initially the variable factor is very less compared to fixed factor. After a point, the variable factor overpowers the fixed factor, and because of which there will be changes in their marginal productivity. The reason, the first reason is non-divisibility of factors of production. What does it mean? So, if I say that there is this machine, this printing machine, maximum 3 people can work on it. So, can I say if one person is working, if I am employing one person, let 1/3 of the machine let him work and the 1/3 let it not be there? We cannot say there. If I employ second machine, the remaining 1/3 of the machine, and if I employ the third labor, then the complete machine will use. So, this particular thing, this particular division of the fixed factor of production is impossible. So, because of this non-divisibility of fixed factor of production, what happens? We can see that initially the capital asset is having maximum capacity to of 3 laborers, but here 1 labor is too less on this entire machinery and 3 laborers are optimum. Optimum matlab beyond which there is no need. If 4th, 5th, 6th laborers are employed, their productivity is going to be negative, and that is the reason when the fixed capital asset cannot be divided, we need to adjust the productivity of the variable factors of production. This is one reason. The other reason is the fixed factor and variable factor, we cannot substitute them. Non-substitutability of fixed factor of factors of production. यहाँ पे what we can understand is, here if one labor is working on one machine, you cannot say that I will not work, I do not need the machine, instead of the machine I will bring into picture one more labor. This substitution is not possible, and this substitution, it is not possible matlab there is no labor and capital cannot have infinite, or they are not perfect substitutes. They can be substituted but not perfectly. So, the elasticity of substitution between labor and capital will never be equal to 1. So, this is one more reason why the law of variable proportion operates in the short run. Initially the output increases at an increasing rate, later it increases at a diminishing rate, and after a particular point the output starts to diminish because the marginal productivity of the labor has become negative. Friends, with this I stop my short run production function law of variable proportions. In my next class we will take up with what is called as law of returns to scale. So till then friends, thank you very much for being with me, for being with Understanding Economics with Professor Aftab. So please keep watching my videos, it will be encouraging me. So till my next video, take care of yourself, stay happy, stay healthy, tata, bye bye.